Good evening. My name is Frank Viera. I'm with the Regional Emergency Coordination Office in the state of Vermont. This is an executive briefing for the Governor's Office, Vermont Department of Public Safety, Burlington Mayor's Office, and all agencies underneath the Mayor's Office. Also, Franklin, Orleans, Essex, Grand Isle, Lamoille, Chittenden, Washington, Caledonia counties. The subject of this executive briefing is the upcoming winter storm. Ice storm warnings have been issued for the following counties: Franklin, Orleans, Essex, Grand Isle, Lamoille, Chittenden, Washington, and Caledonia, with the remaining Vermont counties are also under winter storm warning. The predicted freezing rain is expected to cause hazardous conditions throughout the early afternoon hours, and all traveling during this time should be limited to emergency situations only. In addition to the potential of 3 inches of accumulated ice on the roadways, the heavy ice could cause damage to trees and power lines, causing massive power outages. As the rain switches from snow in the afternoon, expect large accumulations of snow on the roadways, exacerbating the dangerous conditions. The snow is expected to fall throughout Wednesday night and Thursday morning, with an additional 6 inches expected for the weekend. In order to be prepared for the expected issues that will arise of this storm, safety and security measures must be applied in order to negate the consequences of potential disaster. We are recommending the following mitigation strategy be in place for all state, regional, and local agencies as applicable. Community safety. Safety to our community is paramount. During this storm, there will be considerable issues in dealing with emergencies to residents. All police and fire EMS should have a plan in place for responding to emergency situations in extreme weather conditions. In addition, the potential of downed power lines could result in freezing temperatures to those affected. The power company should have a fully staffed crew on standby to address any shortages as they arise to minimize the response time. The homeless are especially vulnerable during these times. Shelters need to remain opened and fully staffed during this time, and any homeless found prior to the storm need to be moved immediately indoors. Transportation. All public transportation should be shut down prior to the onset of the storm. Most private businesses, as well as state and local governments, have already issued a forced closure beginning January 3rd and a late arrival on January 6th. Roads, rail, and depots must be assessed for damage and accessibility by leadership prior to public transportation reopening. And communication. Given the heavy ice predicted, there's a chance that communications could drop, to include landline and cell phone reception. Emergency responders and all essential personnel should have access to handheld radios and ensure all radios are fully charged prior to the storm. Local phone companies should be alerted to the threat and encouraged to have a full staff of technicians on standby to address any loss in communication. Energy. Due to the threat of power loss, all essential buildings, specifically hospitals and shelters, should be equipped with functioning generators and fuel filled prior to the storm. Generators should be inspected and tested immediately if they have not been already. In addition to the previously mentioned precautions, safety messages should be broadcast to the public informing those with wood-burning fireplaces and stoves to keep a dry stockpile of wood available in case of a power outage, as well as a danger to a blocked chimney from snow and ice. Also, caution the population about the dangers of carbon monoxide buildup in vehicles that have blocked tailpipes, as well as the use of ovens as heating sources. Resource availability. All essential personnel in their respective agencies should already have taken stock of available resources on hand and identified deficiencies. Any agency that has not must do so immediately and notify their leadership in order to get resupplied. Keep in mind that resources must last the duration of the storm, and all should be prepared to have multiple issues during this time. These requirements are most important to our first responders. Contact. As the storm bears down, communication between agencies are key. Those first responders and emergency personnel that have to be in the storm should provide assessment data to leadership upon return to station of any situation or issue they come across. That data, as well as logistical and administrative concerns that should be shared with partner agencies, as well as city, county, and state leadership. Cooperation and communication will ensure that state is prepared to address any concerns that this storm creates. Regional Emergency Response Coordination stands by to assist in any way necessary. Thank you for your time.